Altona with Aspire to the Self for their Astrological Energy Forecast. This will be for the week of May 5th to the 11th of 2025. Thank you for clicking onto my video. If you are a returning member, subscriber, or viewer, welcome back. So family, it's good to see you guys again. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for your likes, shares, your comments, subscribe, super thanks, and donations. I truly appreciate them all. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. It's good to see a new face here. Please keep in mind, okay, I do pull oracle cards during this forecast just to give the overall energy for the week. These are general collective oracle card readings, therefore the messages will not and may not resonate with everyone. So please take what resonates with you in your particular situation and leave the rest. Please do not try to make the story fit if it doesn't fit, okay? If it's not resonating with you, it just means I'm not picking up on your energy, which is perfectly okay. In the areas of legal, law, finance, health, mental health, please know that I'm not an expert in those areas, nor do I claim to be. And if I mention them at all, it is either what my intuition is picking up on or it's literally on the cards themselves. However, if it truly resonates with you, okay, and I ask that you seek out the expertise of those experts in those areas. I am also the author, V. Ulrich, of both fairy tales in my hand here. The Princess and Her Inner Voice, which is a fairy tale written for children about their intuition, what it is, how it speaks to them, and how if they listen to it, it can help them to overcome all obstacles, help them heal from all traumas, as well as get them to their happy ending in whichever way that looks for them. It is a very self-love and self-worth based fairy tale. As well as The Dark High Priestess and The Prophecy of the Queen of the Unseen, this is a fairy tale written for adults about healing and overcoming spiritual warfare and narcissistic abuse from family members and friends, and how to keep that inner flame lit despite any adversity you may be going through or experiencing, and that no matter how dire your situation may seem, whether you always have a choice and that you're never alone. There's always benevolent beings who are around you just waiting for you to give them consent, to intervene and to intercede on your behalf, and to provide you with guidance that way you can fulfill your soul's purpose in this lifetime. Both of these fairy tales are written in the bard format, okay, which means that they're meant to be spoken aloud, okay? So think like the content of Grimm's fairy tales, but in the format of Dr. Seuss, okay? They're written and illustrated in such a way to heal and appeal to your inner child as you read them. They're short, they're sweet, they inspire hope, and they make you feel good as you read them. The audiobook has been released for both books and can be found attached to this video for convenience as well as on my channel. However, if you wish to purchase the physical copies, you can find them on online retailers such as Amazon, Walmart, and Barnes & Noble, just to name a few. The Princess and Her Inner Voice is in its second edition print, which means that the autographed first edition as well as my products can be found on my website, which is www.aspiraltotheself.com. All the information will be in the description box below for your convenience, as well as all my social media platforms and pages, so that way you do not get scammed by people or pages pretending to be me. As always, I begin each forecast and reading with a prayer. I call upon God, Banja, Great Goddess Morgan, the 33, Blue, the archangels, my ancestors, and the seen and unseen. Please only allow this reading and forecast what I call upon, which is high vibrational energy and frequency. If any lower vibrational entities, beings, and energies try to come through or try to ask, project, open a portal, remote view, or be a monitoring spirit in the past, present, or in the future, I ask that you block, bind, and blind and immediately return to sender 100-fold, in which I give you full consent to intervene and to intercede on my behalf, whichever way you deem fit. Please allow me to see what you want the collectors to know, provide clear, concise messages. If any try to abuse technology in any kind of way in the past, the present, or in the future by trying to take a screenshot or ask, project, open a portal, remote view, or be in a set, I ask that you block, bind, and blind 100-fold, and I give you full consent to hold them accountable and bring them justice in your way. Please protect me, this channel, the video, and the viewers as I deliver this finely guided message. Any curses, sex, evil eye, black magic, witchcraft, and bindings, let they be dissolved, transmuted, and intervened by the Ohio. The sinner's mask ripped off, they'll be unable to hide. All their lies, deceit, and ill intentions will become exposed and publicly known. Okay, collective. So currently, we have two major asteroids that are in retrograde. Okay, this is the background energy. These energies last, can range from a few weeks to months. So we have Vesta retrograde, which will be in retrograde until June 14th of 2025. This is a time where we're being very introspective and we're uncovering truths about our purpose. So figuring out what our purpose is. Your passion is your purpose, but it requires you to essentially quiet the mind, to go within and to figure out what truly makes you happy, what truly is your calling in life, what truly is like your reason to get up in the morning, other than like paying bills or things like that. Then we have a Juno retrograde, which will be in retrograde until July 10th of 2025. This is essentially where we are wanting a deep connection, okay? At the beginning of this retrograde, Juno was in Sagittarius, which is where we wanted freedom in relationships and steering away from conventional traditions in relationships. Now it is in the sign of Scorpio, which is where we are wanting a deep, deep connection. Like this is giving soulmate, twin flame connection, where we're not settling for the surface level, the basic, we're not settling for like relationships built on trauma, relationships built off of toxicity, sex, money. Okay, we're wanting something deeper. We want to be understood on a soul level. Now, getting into the weekly energies, okay, these energies can last from a couple days to weeks, okay? We've had a stellium, which a stellium is when there are numerous planets that are in the same zodiac sign. We've had a stellium in Pisces since the very end of January of 2025. It just keeps rolling over. And now more and more planets are getting into the sign of Aries. So the stellium for this week is a mixture of being in the sign of Pisces and Aries, but it is a carryover energy. So for the entire week this week, so May 5th to the 11th, we are overcoming a karmic lesson surrounding our self-worth and following our intuitive promptings to be direct and impulsive in our relationships in order to undergo a spiritual evolution, be further in alignment with our purpose. What kind of spiritual evolution is the collective undergoing, spirit? What kind of spiritual evolution is the collective going through at this time when it comes to being direct, impulsive with people they have relationships with? What kind of spiritual evolution is the collective going through? When it comes to being back and forth of letting go and cleansing out that energy, okay, you could be a shaman, you could be a healer, you could be a light worker here. But essentially this is saying that when it comes to karmic lessons, a karmic is a lesson for your soul, okay? It's essentially where nothing happens by chance. You intersect paths with certain people, okay? And you both have a person in each other's life, which is to teach the other person something, and it's typically brought about through pain. Now, there's some kind of relationship that you have here where you're going to need to cut the person off. And it looks like you're going back and forth on this because this karmic lesson with this individual that you have that you need to be direct and impulsive with, speak directly to, but also to be impulsive, like whenever you get the intuitive prompting to leave, to let go, to cleanse your energy, things like that, you are to follow them. And it's come to the point in this relationship, in this path with this person, that you need to let them go because they have you caged. Essentially, your potential is limited. And it's because there's this karmic relationship is holding you back. It's keeping you from fulfilling your soul purpose. It's keeping you from essentially being in your full potential. It's holding you back in some kind of way. It looks like you know that you need to do this, but you're going back and forth on if you should. Maybe you could be having, survivor's guilt or things like that, or, abandonment issues or afraid of being alone. But this is very crucial for the evolution of your soul, of your awakening, okay? Many people, especially during this Pluto retrograde, are going to be, I forgot to mention Pluto retrograde. Pluto retrograde will be in effect until October 13th of 2025. Okay, let that be confirmation. Like, I almost forgot completely about it. Pluto is in retrograde until October 13th of 2025, and this is essentially where many people are undergoing a spiritual evolution and awakening. It's challenging the status quo, it's societal shifts, it's also a deeply introspective time where we are shedding old outdated beliefs and patterns that aren't in alignment with us, and it looks like that is what this is. It's like you're going through your awakening, and that may be hidden from you at this moment, but you're going through your awakening, and essentially you have to shed people, place, and things that are no longer in alignment with you, that are keeping you from fulfilling your purpose and essentially being able to utilize your full potential, being in that full potential. So it looks like you know that you need to do it, you're just wondering if you should, because it has to do with you cleansing out your energy. So whoever this karmic that is in your life, essentially mucking up your energy, means that this person's low vibration, they bring a lot of toxicity, and you being around them mucks up your energy and essentially attracts all that toxicity, that karma. Because many times, like when we have to separate from people, it's because it's divine intervention and protection, like to shield you from that person having to pay their karmic debt. So typically when this happens, because this isn't the first time people have gone through an awakening, it just means that we have another wave of more souls that are going to be awakened at this time period. It just means that part of your awakening period is you're being called to level up. And in doing so, you have to separate yourself from people who are stuck and stagnant, or who have a lot of karmic debt to pay, meaning they have not learned their karmic lessons. You have, but in order for you to be shielded from having to essentially partake in that karmic debt to be paid, because misery likes company. It also means if you are surrounded by toxic energy, you're surrounded by people that try to make you feel small, or, try to, get you in your feelings or things like that, again, that don't want you to learn, grow, and evolve, is going to muck up your energy. You're going to attract those kind of situations and experiences to you. So you are required right now to cleanse out your energy. That means spiritual baths, that means spiritual showers. That means, cleansing your space, like smudging. It also means like meditating, things like that. You need to cleanse out your energy. You know that you need to do this, and you know it'll provide you with freedom. So whatever this is, whoever is coming to your mind intuitively right now, you need to cut ties with that person. Your intuition's already told you that you need to, and it's for karmic reasons. You've already learned the lesson. The cycle is closed, and now you just need to move on so that way you can reach a different level. Also, from carryover from last week, we may struggle to be our most authentic self and being optimistic and sociable with the reputation of being committed to working hard and focusing on our financial security. However, we will be able to overcome this obstacle through slowing down and stabilizing. Spirit, how do you want the collective to slow down and stabilize? Where does the collective need to slow down and stabilize? Where does the collective need to slow down and stabilize in order to retain their reputation? Where does the collective need to slow down and stabilize? So both these colors are red. So root chakra. Root chakra is of significance here. Okay, so root chakra is your environment. It's your ability to survive. It's your fight or flight. It's your earliest recorded experiences. It's the tribe, the tribal power, like wanting to be liked, wanting to be accepted by the tribe. So here it has follow the signs, 888, which is the angel number for abundance, and the path of least resistance. Okay, so look at the signs here. Okay, the right door may not have opened for you, okay, because there is one on the way, and essentially when you do what you need to do, again, slowing down, bringing balance. Balance is a huge theme for this week. 222, which is the angel number for balance, because we have 2 meteor shower peak days this week, and meteor shower peak days are lucky. So it has a heavy theme of balance, bringing balance. So you need to bring balance here, because you may be feeling discouraged because you're trying to get some kind of opportunity here, but it seems like all the doors are closed. That's because the right one isn't there for you yet. So you need to focus on you, bring balance to, wherever you are having some kind of shortcoming or that you've been neglecting, and follow the signs, because you are going to have abundance here. You just need to follow the signs, and the right door will open when it is meant to. At the very end of the week, so May 10th through the 11th, there will be an immense creative energy to revolutionizing our lives. However, the energy will be disharmonious with working with others or investigating something further. What is this disharmonious energy, Spirit, when it comes to working with others? What is this disharmonious spirit when it comes to working with others? It's disharmonious because right now you need to be isolated so that way you can listen to your higher self, your inner voice, on what kind of steps that you need to take. But also we have the elementals, we have the she, we have the fae. 1212 is the angel number for new beginnings. There's a new beginning here for you, okay, that's going to provide you with immense energy. You need to proceed with innocent courage. However, right now you need to isolate. You need to be by yourself so that way you can hear your intuitive promptings and your intuitive guidance on what kind of steps that you need to take. But also it looks like there's, again, benevolent beings that are wanting to communicate with you about this new beginning and what you need to do. But in order for you to hear the guidance, you got to essentially cut out all the distractions. You got to cut out all the noise, so to speak. Okay, so now we're going to get into the daily energies. So May 5th, the moon will be in Virgo and Mercury sextiles Jupiter. There will be many opportunities for you directly to ask the questions needed in order to expand your life, as well as your intuition will provide the details for you to change something significant for your overall well-being. So stop trying to resist this change. Your intuition will be more reliable than common sense at this time. So your intuition is going to be providing you with a lot of guidance. And again, you need to follow your promptings. May 6th, Venus sextile Pluto, Mercury conjunction Chiron, and Aquariid meteor shower peak day. The energy will be favorable to directly communicate with those we have relationships with in order to transmute a wound into power. Okay, because Chiron is the wounded healer. We take some kind of lesson, a wound, and turn into a blessing. Typically, that's what karmic lessons are. Okay, you take some kind of lesson there, you learn the lesson, and then you get to level up. You get some kind of blessing. Okay, that will further revolutionize your life. The day is favorable for the intuitive, creative thinker who can see opportunities where others can't, and to be strong and secure in their pursuits. So this is a favorable day for those who listen to their intuition and what to create, and essentially to see opportunities where other people miss them. Again, that's why it's all about slowing down and stabilizing, because there's an opportunity here that most people would miss because, again, they're rush, fast paced. And this is where you need to slow down so you can see that, essentially, that area of opportunity, that open window that you can go through. And your intuition is going to tell you when to seize it, and that you will have success. The energy is favorable. The energy is lucky and fortunate for you if you can slow down and see these opportunities that most people would miss. May 7th, Mars quintiles Uranus. There will be great potential this day if the immense creative energy is utilized to showcase your innate talents, when you may normally struggle to be your most authentic self in a practical way. So you may be struggling to essentially be yourself because you fear that it may not be practical. You may be too outside of the box kind of thinking, okay? But this day will be favorable. There's a lot of potential here if you utilize your creative talents, the talents that come to you naturally. There's great, again, this is the week of opportunities if you can slow down and see them. And there's a lot of energy for you to utilize as well that will help to showcase these talents that you have, that provide you with opportunities. You just got to be able to recognize them. May 8th, Moon in Libra and Lyrid meteor shower peak day. Your intuition will tell you to let go of all outside distractions that are preventing you from handling your personal affairs, focusing on your family and home life in order to bring balance to your relationships and to keep the peace. The day will be favorable for a visionary with a persuasive voice and or charismatic ideas. However, it will be short-lived. So on this day, it's essentially a fated event for some kind of persuasive visionary person who may have charismatic ideas that may get the public jumping and going, but it's going to be over as soon as it starts. So it's essentially going to be very short-lived. But again, focusing on balance. You may have been neglecting your home life or things like that because you've been focusing too much on work or creating or focusing on the bag or something, whatever. But you need to focus on your home life at this time. May 10th, Mercury will be in the sign of Taurus until May 25th. This is where we're going to be deliberate, practical, and grounded when we communicate with others, but also focusing more on tangible and concrete ideas. Again, like focusing on the practical, focusing on things that we know are tangible. But also on this day, Moon will be in Scorpio, Venus contraparallel Saturn, and there's going to be a conjunction of Neptune and Ceres. The energy will be favorable to ignore distractions and to distinguish what is of true worth on your path and to know what is false worth, which has no meaning for you. As you make transformative changes to your self-care and commitments that are necessary for your spiritual evolution. Okay, so again, you're going to know what you should be investing your time in, your energy in, and what is just truly not of any worth on your journey that you should just ignore. And that way you can focus on, again, making transformative changes to your self-care, your routines, how you take care of yourself. Self-care is self-love. But also, again, it's like when it comes to relationships, there's a heavy emphasis when it comes to relationships. Again, with the oracle cards at the beginning, it's like you're having some kind of conflicting thoughts on if you should leave behind some kind of relationship. But again, it's a karmic lesson, which means that relationship is meant to end when you learn the lesson. You've learned the lesson, now it's time for your blessing. You just got to get rid of the baggage, essentially. The energy will be disharmonious to being intimate with others, as there will be a tension in the air between being direct and impulsive in our relationships and karmic lessons pertaining to following our intuitive promptings. Again, there's going to be some stress in the air where, again, you need to be by yourself, because Scorpio is the detriment sign for the moon, which means it's disharmonious. You need to be alone. Again, it's that you need to be alone so that you can hear your higher self, as well as the benevolent beings that are around you that are going to communicate with you what you need to do. And you have to essentially isolate so that way you can cancel out all the background noise, all the distractions that would prevent you from hearing, from understanding what you need to know. And again, with this karmic lesson, it's like maybe this is a karmic lesson about you following your intuition when it tells you that you have to leave. Because maybe in the past you discounted the red flags that you picked up on. You know, you thought it was a carnival. And like this is part of the lesson where you need to leave it behind, because you being direct and impulsive is going to bring a lot of tension, a lot of stress with these kind of relationships that are karmic. May 11th, Mars parallels Neptune. The energy will be stressful to utilizing the creative energy to manifest your visionary ideas, as there are things going on behind the scenes to gather together the circumstances toward a goal that you require. Just know that you are on the right path. What needs to happen right now is your resolve needs to be sharpened. As well as you need to affirm and believe that you are protected at this time. So it's essentially your faith is being tested. Your resolve needs to be sharpened. You need to know that you're on the right path and to stop doubting yourself. But it's also, you know, like maybe things aren't moving as quickly as you thought they would, because things are going on in the background to essentially align things up for that auspicious opportunity or for wherever the next step that you need to be at. So the chakra that coincides with the energy this week is the sacral chakra, which is here, okay, right above the belly button. Your sacral chakra is how we understand our reactions to our inner and outer worlds and how we're going to express these reactions. Your sacral chakra is the home of your inner child. It is the home of your creativity, your sexual passion, your self-worth, okay? It is our healthiest way to express our emotions of this chakra is through creativity. Again, there's a lot of creative energy that can be utilized. We're transmuting some kind of wound into power, into some kind of blessing. And the healthiest way to do that is through essentially invoking your inner child and creating, you know, like dancing, singing, playing, drawing, painting, whatever. Okay, there's something here that you can bring out your inner child to essentially help you to transmute those wounds. The yang function of this chakra involves how we express feelings to others and create within the world. And the yin function is observing or interpreting others' feelings and making self-judgments about our own feelings and being able to take it in life. Energy needed to feel and create. So again, this could also be where you assess your own worth and things based on how people feel about you. But again, people feel about you is none of your business. It has everything to do with them and their own perceptions and their own healing, because people can only see for how deep they have been able to see themselves. And if you're being judged by people who have never done the work, have never done the shadow work, have never, you know, faced their traumas or anything like that, then their opinions are going to be fucking a goose egg. They're going to mean absolutely shit. You know, to somebody who's actually trying to go through the spiritual evolution, like, they're not going to mean anything, because they're still stuck in low vibration. They're still stuck in 3D. They're still stuck, no matter the age, they're still stuck in patterns and traumas with limited potential. So it's not going to matter. So when it comes to karmic lessons, it could also be pertaining to, because it said karmic relationships with people we have in relationships. It could be family member, friends, okay? If it has to do with your inner child, these could be inner childhood wounds that had to do with you feeling worthy of your creations, feeling worthy of the success that you will get from those creations, feeling worthy to be in your full potential. Because your sacral chakra works hand in hand with your heart chakra. Okay, your heart chakra is your ability to be open to attracting opportunities and your blessings. Remember, this is a week where if you slow down and you bring balance to all areas of your life, that you will be able to see a window, an opportunity for you that most people would miss. You have to be able to slow down. With this, it has to do with healing your inner child here and feeling worthy of the creations that you have, so that way you don't block your opportunities. You don't block your abundances that are coming your way. The sacral chakra rules over the endocrine gland, the ovaries, and the testes. It's the source of women's power and identity. It's the source of chi, life force energy. In the collective tarot readings, when we talk about energy siphoning, energy harvesting, this is what we're talking about. And practitioners, warlocks, witches, whatever you want to call them, perform energy siphoning rituals. They do a form of distance Reiki and or dream state magic, where they essentially reverse the energy flow from you to put your chakra at a misalignment malfunction, and they direct it towards themselves. And how typically this works is, say if it has to do with relationships that are, you know, romantic, it has to do with people attaching some kind of soul tie or cord to you, which is primarily done through sex. So like when it comes to X or things like that you have that are pulling on your energy or trying to siphon from you, because believe it or not, it happens more fucking often than you think it should, where you have people who, again, we are in a new age, a spiritual evolution, and there's the bad side of that, and there's the good side. The bad side is how many people will pick up witchcraft to really micromanage the universe and to their wishes. They won't do the healing work. It's essentially cutting corners. They don't want to do the work so that they can manifest the reality that they want, but also it's because it acts out of their wounds. So typically what you see is people like to curse, they like to hex, they like to destroy people's lives as a form of vengeance. So many people are picking up witchcraft to enact vengeance or to, try to cut corners because, again, they don't want to heal. They're very comfortable in the low vibration. They're very comfortable in their toxicity, but they're not getting the results they want in their life. Like, they don't have the money that they want, the love that they want. They don't have the respect or the clout that they want. So then they resort to witchcraft. And what you have here is you'll have literally people who try to siphon from others. People that they view are more successful or more creative than them, they will try to take your creative energy, your ideas, your life force, and drain it from you and give it to themselves. And they can do that in the dream state magic by trying to, get you to eat something, get you to have sex with them in the dream state, give you something in the dream state, because in the dream state that would be considered consent, even though it is through deceptive ways. People can do that. And I mention it a lot because we just had Beltane, and that's one of the biggest pagan fire festivals where people do a lot of sex magic. And when you're talking about the Satanists and Luciferians, that's one of their big energy harvesting days. So it's very important to reclaim your power. I've posted a spiritual warfare guide from a woman named Kenzie that goes into the different kinds of spiritual warfare and how you can protect yourself. Like how you can protect yourself with dream state magic, how you can cleanse your energy, because that card came out to cleanse your energy. So when it comes to a karmic lesson, you can most definitely have somebody that's been siphoning your energy that you need to cleanse your energy of. Cut the cord. There's cord cutting rituals. Take a ritual bath or a ritual shower. Cleanse your space. Get rid of anything and everything that person ever gave to you. Okay? Because people can attach energy and entities to objects. So again, it seems like something out of Harry Potter, but again, it's real. Essentially, witchcraft is just energy manipulation. People will cut corners to get the kind of things they want. If it comes from black magic means that someone else has to suffer for someone else to gain. And where Reiki can be to heal the energy, to put the chakras in alignment, it can be used in a malicious way, like with anything. So again, with the rise of spiritual evolution, it's the rise of spiritual knowledge, which if you look anywhere, there's a plethora of grimoires out there. And what are people most focused on doing when they search out those kind of books? How can I curse? How can I hex? How can I have all the money in the world that I want? I want to be rich, 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 rich. I want so-and-so to love me. Love spells are never about true love. They're about domination and control of another person, which is against universal law. You cannot go after a person's free will, their solar plexus. It's against universal law. There's karmic debt to be paid for that. So, again, we live in the time of spiritual evolution, that Neptune in Aries, which will be in that sign for the next 13, 14 years. You need to prepare yourself. You need to know how to defend yourself, because you could be going through obstacles or struggles because of the energy that is sent your way. It could be absolutely unnecessary. Again, you don't understand how many people could be a secret or hidden enemy to you that are more than willing to pick up witchcraft. Envy and jealousy is at an all-time high. It's literally a disease of what people are willing to do to other people because they are acting from a place of woundedness. So sacral chakra, again, because we just had that holiday, you may need to cleanse that out. And why healing is so important, when you heal that inner child, it means people can't steal your energy anymore. People can't steal your creativity. People can't try to attach cords to you anymore because your vibration is too high. That witchcraft will be backfired. So just FYI on that. So the sacral chakra involves expressing our feelings through crying, screaming, laughing, but also through, it's like some kind of release. It communicates intuitively to us about others through empathy. So we get empathetic messages about others through this chakra. Again, that's why it has to do with self-worth. Like you can pick up people's hatred, people's envy, people's jealousy, people's essentially disdain for you. If this chakra is at a misalignment or malfunctioning, it can lead to women reproductive issues. It can lead to codependency, creative blocks, addictions. If this chakra is at a misalignment, is a gluten-based carbs diet, shopping. So essentially it's like immediate gratification. And how you can put this chakra back into alignment would be to eat low glycemic foods, exercise like walking, Qigong, yoga, Tai Chi, again, moving the energy around, listening to frequencies. The frequency for the sacral chakra is 417 hertz. I have a playlist I'll attach at the end of this video for you. It has all the frequencies on there that you can listen to that will help put your chakras back into alignment. All right, collective, I hope I was able to provide you with clarity of what you intuitively know, as well as what to expect this week. Thank you for watching. If you like my vibe in this video, please like and subscribe. It definitely helps out the channel. Please stay tuned for a brief little snippet of the Dark High Priestess and the Process of the Queen of the Unseen.